Slope-intercept form is a way to write the equation of a line that makes graphing extremely easy. The slope is the coefficient of the x value, and whatever's being added or subtracted from this x portion is your y-intercept, hence the name slope-intercept form. To write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form, there are two steps. Step 1, we need to find the slope. Step 2, we need to find the y-intercept, our b value. So if we look at this problem, we need to come up with a line that is parallel to this line. While looking at this line is not in slope-intercept form, it's actually in standard form. Standard form is a way to write an equation of a line where we have a coefficient of x plus a coefficient for y set equal to a constant. So in order to find the slope of a line in standard form, we need to convert it to slope-intercept form. So we're going to start with 3x plus 4y equaling 9 and convert it to slope-intercept form by solving for this y. We need to undo the things that are happening to y. Step 1, subtract 3x from both sides. Notice I put my negative 3x first. Then we need to get rid of this 4 by dividing by 4. So I'm left with y equals negative 3 divided by 4 is negative 3/4 x plus 9 divided by 4, 9/4. So this line is this line in slope-intercept form, where negative 3/4 is my slope and 9/4 is my y-intercept. Now I need to come up with a line that's parallel to this line. Well, parallel lines have equal slopes, so my new slope of my line is going to be negative 3/4, because these two slopes have to be equal. My next step, after I know the slope of the line, is to find the y-intercept. One of the ways to find the y-intercept is to use the point-slope formula. The point-slope formula is y minus y1 set equal to m times x minus x1. And to use the point-slope formula, we plug in our values that we know and solve for y. So we know that m has to be negative 3/4. And we know that our line has to go through 6, negative 3. So 6 is my x1 and negative 3 is my y1. So I'm going to plug those values in. Y minus negative 3 turns into y plus 3. And now I can solve for y. First step, distribute. Negative 3/4 times x is negative 3/4 x. Negative 3/4 times negative 6 is going to be, well, a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. And 3/4 times 6, to multiply fractions, I multiply my numerators. 3 times 6 is 18, and I multiply my denominators. 4 times 1 is 4. And if you notice, 18/4 can be simplified. 18 is divisible by 2, and 4 is divisible by 2. So if I divide my numerator by 2 and my denominator by 2, I'm left with 9/2. Now I need to continue solving for y by subtracting 3 from both sides. So I'm left with y equals negative 3/4 x. Well, now I need to figure out what this is. So I'm going to do that math off to the side here. I have positive 9/2 minus 3. Well, in order to subtract fractions, I need to have a common denominator. And in this case, my common denominator is 2. So I'm going to have 9/2 minus, well, in order to get a 2 in my denominator, I need to multiply by 2, which means I need to multiply my numerator by 2. Now, once I have a common denominator, to subtract fractions, I subtract my numerators, 9 minus 6, and I keep my denominator the same. So I have 9 minus 6 is 3 over 2. And it's going to be a positive, so my y-intercept is positive 3/2. So my equation is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3/2. My slope is parallel to this line, and I need to check to make sure it goes through this ordered pair. So I'm going to graph this line. My y-intercept is 3/2. 3/2 is 1.5. From there, I have a slope of negative 3/4. So I'm going to go down 3 and to the right 4. Down 3 to the right 4. I can also go up 3 and to the left 4. Up 3, which is positive, and to the left 4, which is negative. So to get a negative slope, I can go down and to the right, or up and to the left. Now I'm going to connect all of those points all the way across my graph. I need to check to make sure that it goes through the point 6, negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. This line does go through the point 6, negative 3, and it is going to be parallel to this line because they have the same slope. Our second example. Again, we're going to write our answer in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and we need it to be perpendicular to this line in standard form. So step 1, we need to find our slope. So I'm going to take the line that I'm given and solve for y. I'm going to convert from standard form to slope-intercept form. Subtract x from both sides. Divide both sides by 4. And I'm left with y equals, well, this is really negative 1. Negative 1 divided by 4 is negative 1/4 x, plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the slope of my line is negative 1/4, and my y-intercept is 3. And I want to create a new line that is perpendicular to this line. So if I want a slope perpendicular, I'm going to need the opposite reciprocal. So I have a negative slope. The opposite of a negative slope is positive, and the reciprocal of 1/4 is 4. So the opposite reciprocal of negative 1/4 is positive 4. So the slope of my new line is going to be 4. Step 2, I need to find the y-intercept. I could use the point slope formula, but there's another method. The other method is to start with the slope-intercept form and plug in what I know. I know that the slope has to be 4. I also know that I want my line to go through negative 4, negative 8. I know that I want my x value to be negative 4 and my y value to be negative 8. So if I plug in negative 4 for x, for an answer, I should get negative 8 for y. So let's force that to be true. Let's plug in negative 4 for x, and when I plug in negative 4 for x, for an answer, I should get negative 8. Now this is kind of a nice skill to develop. Plug in what we know, solve for what we don't know, and we'll have our answer. So let's do the math. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Add 16 to both sides, and I'm left with b equals 8. Now I haven't written my equation yet. I know that the slope is 4 and that my y-intercept is 8. So my final step is to write the equation of the line with my slope and my y-intercept plugged in. So this is my final answer. And I can check this answer by graphing this line. I'm going to go up 8. And from there I have a slope of positive 4. So I could go up 4 and to the right 1, but I'm way off my graph. So instead I'm going to go down 4. And if I go down, that's negative. To get a positive, I need to go to the left, because a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive slope. So I can go down 4 and to the left 1. Down and to the left gives me a positive slope. And then I need to connect those points all the way across my graph and check to make sure it goes through negative 4, negative 8. And my line does. So I created a line perpendicular by finding the opposite reciprocal slope, and then I found my b by plugging in the information I knew for x, y, and my slope, and solving for b, and then writing my equation.